yet they're still plus size on the internet. Like, the mental gymnastics, the cognitive dissonance, it's giving bitter. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you all here with me again this week. And honestly, before we get into it, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you. I took a little break during the holidays. As you know, we were going through a few things, and the holidays are just stressful in general. And that usually leads to some punishment by the algorithm gods when you decide to return to posting regular videos. But you all really showed up and showed out last week. I got the most views I've ever seen in the first day of a video release, which was really great. We blew past 25,000 subscribers, which is just amazing. And I just continue to be so humbled by you all, and I am so grateful that you keep coming back week after week, because the truth is the channel could not thrive without you coming to watch, without you liking, without you sharing your opinions and your emojis with me. So thank you all so much for being here. Now, if you're new here and this is the first time you are seeing my face, welcome. I make weekly videos dissecting internet nonsense, so if you're into that type of thing or you like today's video, I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out the channel and make sure that you never miss another upload from me. Ooh, do I have a video for you all today. It is the new year and the girls are fighting. From time to time, in the fat liberation and body positive space, these creators will fight each other. It's pretty cyclical. This is not the first time we've seen something like this happen, but the atmosphere in this community online is thick. No pun intended. I don't know about you all, but I feel like this sort of started around this time last year when TikTok creator Gabriella Lascano came out and told everyone the truth about what it's like to be overweight and hit your 30s. She told the truth, and she got shredded to bits by the fat liberation and body positivity movements that she was still actively a part of. Like, she told the truth, and they didn't like it, so she got attacked. And if you remember, that's kind of where this whole thing sort of kicked off. And there have been little tiffs here and there. And then last week, as we discussed, things really kicked up when fatgirlflow picked a fight with fellow creator Rosie Beam because Rosie chose to lose weight using a GLP-1 medication, and she chose to be honest about that on her platform. If you haven't seen that video, I will try to remember to link it down below, but I promise it has only gotten more interesting since then, and that's what I want to talk about today. Since I made that video, my For You page has been inundated with plus-size girlies who got invited and attended the Watchers GLP-1 house, which is fascinating. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. But also, on the flip side of that, creators who are attacking those plus-size girlies who are looking to lose weight. They are about to eat each other alive, and I feel like we need to talk about it. Let's dig right in. So, in addition to us learning last week that Rosie Beam can now wipe her own booty and fatgirlflow cannot, it has come to the internet's attention that Weight Watchers has hosted a GLP-1 house where they invited influencers who've been using GLP-1 medications to come and learn about their program while creating promotional content. This GLP-1 house tour brand deal was first brought to my attention by a creator that I've been following for a long while, whose TikTok handle is ShayLove. I've been following her since this gem went viral.
Okay, whatever it says, I have to weigh that by the end of 2023. I wait. Why would I say that? Girl, I don't know. That mean I gotta do it. That's crazy. How you gonna do that? You saying you like you not me. Dang, you right. Girl, be over 360. I ain't no mathematician, but it might be a problem when you weigh more than the number of degrees in a circle. I am the circle. How about you just say if this get 1 million likes, then you'll do it? What are the chances of that happening? pretty low to be real, so we might be alright. Why are we negotiating this right now?
She is just so genuine and so funny, and honestly, I could 100% relate to this clip of her sort of banter with herself about whether or not to lose weight and like why did we say that thing. It's just so relatable, and so I decided to follow her, and I've been following her for a long while. So when she posted about the GLP-1 house and she had done a full tour, that popped up for me on my For You page. So let's take a look at that together.
Come with me to the GLP-1 house. First thing we did was load up in the van and then head out. On the way over, we did a little bit of bonding in the van. We had to turn up a little bit and get ready for the day. When we got there, everything was laid out so nicely. Who wouldn't love to be invited to a mansion in the hills? But let's not get distracted. The focus was education. You see me walking past the hydration station because it's so important to remember to stay hydrated and eat meals. Not too long after we arrived, we actually got to meet Dr. Spencer himself, one of the very first to consider bringing this type of medication to people in the way that Weight Watchers Clinic is now. Right after meeting with Dr. Spencer, we played Two Truths and a Lie, and this was actually really fun. We dispelled so many myths about GLP-1s. Next, do y'all see this beautiful patio? We actually got to eat lunch on this patio with each other, family style. We made protein bowls. It was so good. And speaking of food, they actually had a food noise room. I really wish I could do one whole separate video on food noise because y'all need to know about it. But we will continue on. After lunch, we actually headed into the kitchen to make a little bit of dessert. And what did we decide to make? We made high protein muffins with Dr. Cardell. Thanks to her expertise, she gave us so much information on how there are so many ways you can sneak protein into your food. And so we made muffins, and one of the main ingredients was cottage cheese, y'all. Cottage cheese, and when you eat them, you can't even tell. But after I finished, I had me a little mocktail.
Oh, that's wonderful.
After that, we did head back onto the patio to eat some desserts that were already ready for us. And you can't finish up the day without filming a couple videos. You know, how could I not take advantage of that view while I had it and film some funny TikTok?
Now, this looks like any other influencer brand trip house. It's filled with bright and colorful sets, as well as a view for all the social media content that is going to be filmed there. And Weight Watchers needs these influencers to be able to influence. So they've brought in their doctors and nutritionists as well as other experts to help them get up to date on their newest program. They can't help sell a program if they don't truly know what it's about, and that is why Weight Watchers brought these people together. And I felt myself feeling a little bit torn about this when I saw it, because not that long ago we were talking about Weight Watchers and how they're now marketing this program. And I straight up called out that they've purchased Sequence back in March of last year, and that they were not going to miss the new year, new me resolution train, right? This is their bread and butter. It's where they're going to make most of their money for the year. And that just makes me feel a little bit uneasy. I think that GLP-1 medications are legitimate tools. I do think that they are actively changing people's lives for the better, but I'm very uneasy about them being paired and utilized by a capitalist, literally diet industry corporation whose business model relies on people failing so that they come back and spend more money. I'm still just a little bit wary of that, but I absolutely called that they were not going to miss this season, and the GLP-1 house is just more proof of that. But on top of the house tour, Shay also posted a video. She was very emotional, and she was actually talking about how GLP-1 has changed her life for the better. And again, I can empathize. I understand that struggle. And so I did feel for her. But if you know me by now, if you've been here for a while, I am a highly skeptical human being. And so it didn't make me want to go and sign up for Weight Watchers, but it did leave me with a few questions, and it did make me feel good that she found a tool that works for her. I figured that most people would feel the way that I felt seeing content like this. Skeptical, right? Influencers are supposed to influence. It's their whole job. But leave it to the internet to do what the internet does. There were a lot of plus-size girlies who were not happy to see their favorite creators and their favorite influencers now wanting to lose weight. Let's look at the first anti-weight loss post I saw after I just learned that the GLP-1 house had taken place.
Guys, I am being bullied just for losing weight. I'm being like held accountable for the harm that I'm causing in this community, that I, like created and profited from or whatever. But that's not on me. Like, yeah, I'm using really fat phobic language about talking about my own weight loss and about what other people should be doing and telling them that skinny is actually better when I told them the opposite for years. But why do they trust me? It's not like I told them that they could wait. I did say they could trust me. Oh, that's not the point. The point is, I'm skinny now, and I should not have to pretend to care about fat girls' feelings anymore. Especially since I am trying to get that big pharma bag and that thin privilege. I want it all, and I want no discomfort. So if you call me out or make me feel even the slightest bit uncomfortable, you are bullying me. Just so you know that. I'm the real victim here. Hashtag skinny queen.
Ooh, that video is dripping with condescension. Apparently, choosing to lose weight and using your own bodily autonomy to do so is now harmful to other people and to their audience. Which is something that I want to linger on for just a minute here, because this is not the first time we've seen them lean into blaming people who are wanting to lose weight for using fat-phobic language and just being fat-phobic in general. We even saw it last week when fatgirlflow said this:
"You shouldn't be ashamed for losing weight. Of course you shouldn't be ashamed for losing weight. You can do whatever the you want with your body."
Before course correcting and just telling Rosie to stop being fat phobic. And fat activists have really created a no-win situation here, so I really just want to talk about that for just a minute, because people are not allowed to post their before and after photos, and they're not allowed to talk about their intentional weight loss because that makes them fat phobic. And this isn't new. We've seen this with other plus-size creators in the past. We've seen it when celebrities choose to lose weight, like Adele, or was it Rebel Wilson? They were openly mocked and ostracized. They were told that they were bad role models, that they were being fat phobic, and that now at this point, because you've been ostracized, well, we just never really liked you to begin with. You've given us a reason to hate you, essentially, is what always comes from this. It's such a pervasive attitude that it's led a lot of just regular people who want to come to the internet to share their weight loss successes feel like they can't do that without feeling guilty. And I actually stumbled across a creator who has a pretty similar name to mine, talking about exactly this feeling.
This is something that I've wanted to touch on, but I'm very hesitant to do it because I don't want it to seem like I'm attacking the plus size community, because I'm not. I have identified with the plus size community my entire life. I feel like I still am a part of the plus size community, even though I may not necessarily be plus size anymore. But there's this thing that can happen, and I think it's a very small part of the plus size community that kind of ostracizes you for losing weight, makes you feel guilty for losing weight, and it sucks. The reason behind it is that the plus size community is very much like, I love my body just the way it is. I don't need to change it. I'm beautiful. And that's 100% true. The issue is that when you then lose weight, it's viewed as you hated your body. You did it because you hated your body. You did it because you think you look better now. I personally did it because for me, being plus size was not healthy. I was digging myself into an early grave. There's kind of this sense of feeling like you betrayed your community, and some people help perpetuate that feeling, and that really sucks because you're already going through such an identity crisis. To then have the people that once felt safe to you ostracize you for trying to make a better choice for yourself, it fucking sucks.
Another perfect example of this comes from this video.
And everyone in the world is boring. Everyone's boring. They're all boring. Everyone is.
Her comment section is filled to the brim with plus-size women tearing down other plus-size women. But the person I saw them calling out the most and getting the most heat in that comment section specifically was Shiny by Nature, or Made by Alex NYC. And just a little bit of research let me know that those accounts are run by the same person. Alex herself is plus size, and Shiny by Nature is a plus size clothing company. But she's been ostracized because she chose to lose weight. And in the comment section, as you'll see on the screen, There were so many comments where now, suddenly, because she's ostracized and it's a-okay for them to mock her and her brand, her clothes were frumpy, gross, didn't fit right, and she's just an all-around terrible human being. Once that door was open by this creator making this TikTok, they ran through it and bulldozed over another plus-size creator simply for choosing to lose weight and daring to be open about it on her platform. But here's why I think they've made it a no-win situation. Because everything we've just talked about is how it's fat phobic and you're not allowed to talk about your intentional weight loss. But what if it's unintentional? Let's take a look at another clip that will help me make my point.
This shit makes me so uncomfortable. Please.
We're not allowed to talk about intentional weight loss because it's fat phobic. But unintentional weight loss, as we've seen often, is not a good thing. It stems from stress or disordered thought patterns or other ailments that would cause someone to lose weight without them actually trying to lose weight. I think that if people want to post about their intentional weight loss and let people know and be transparent about it, they should be able to post before and after photos or what they're doing or tagging that they're in GLP-1 programs or weight loss surgery programs, because I think that that is a keyed-in clue that, okay, this person is okay talking about weight loss, talking about what they're doing. They want that validation. They're seeking it out by posting it on the internet. It opens the door for people to have open and real conversations and lets you know, this person is trying to lose weight, so I can ask them questions about their weight loss or what they're doing. Where in the situation where it was unintentional for the woman we just saw, it was not appropriate because she was not posting that style of content or doing those things or opening the door for people to ask her questions. But fat activism online has made it impossible for that to happen. Because if you post a before and after photo or something that they've deemed fat phobic, you're just immediately targeted. And what's ended up happening is that is leading people to kind of do some shady things, like to work around it. The number one person who pops into my brain, sorry to beat a dead horse on this channel, is Anna from Glitter and Lasers, because Anna has been losing weight with a GLP-1 medication, but rather than say that and talk about the weight loss and what she's doing, she's still hiding behind bright, shiny workout clothes and her Copilot app and her workouts. And what ends up happening because of the lack of transparency is now she has other plus-size people following her who think that just buying new workout gear and working out is going to get them those results. It's a no-win situation. And it's an inherently dangerous message that creators who do this are sending. I would much rather that they be transparent. And the only reason that they feel like they can't, or they feel guilty, or like they have to hide, is because of fat activists and their behaviors on the internet. They have done this by repeatedly choosing to be so vile and so hateful to people who are only trying to improve their lives. Let's take a look at one more before I share my final thoughts with you today.
And more plus-size influencers that got skinny are pushing this negative skinny, movement. Be so for real right now. You'd be like, oh, I love the body positivity movement, but it doesn't help you understand that you're still unhealthy. Like, babes, if you were unhealthy, another way to say that. Because some of us are not. Like, I really feel like some of y'all really just hated yourselves on the inside and want everybody else to feel the same way y'all feel, and it's not gonna happen. Just because you didn't have positivity about your body when you were at that size does not mean you need to shame everybody else and start talking about everybody else need to get skinny, just like you. That is wrong. Wrong answer. Like, it's giving fat phobic, but you were once fat. It's not adding up. It's not adding up.
Whew, there is so much to unpack in that video, so I'm really gonna try to keep myself focused here. The one through line that I've noticed with fat activists in all the time that I've been doing this on my channel, and since I've been following them for so long, before I started to get out of the movement, the thing that I've noticed the most is that they lean into this talking point of telling these creators who have now chosen to lose weight that they must have hated themselves. They hated themselves skinny, and now they're harming their audience by telling them that they have to do the same, or they have to follow those same steps. But there are two problems with this. The first is that the influencers they're choosing to call out usually have not done the things that they're claiming they've done, such as telling their audiences that now they also need to lose weight. A perfect example of this is how much hate Alex or Shiny by Nature was getting. When I was looking at her pages, she started to lose weight and improve her health because she's trying to get pregnant and wants to start family planning.
Because it's iconic, and I love to do iconic shit.
Honestly, how are they going to hate so hard on someone who's just trying to improve their health so that they can have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby? It's giving bitter. The second issue, and the thing that sticks out to me the most as a pattern that I've been watching over time, is that fat activists tend to lean into this broad language. They use terminology like fat, thin, skinny, but they never define what that means. They can't define it because they need to be able to lean into that sort of gray area when they make arguments like this. And I'll be honest, I laughed out loud when she said this.
Like, is giving fat forward, but you were once fat. It's not adding up, it's not.
They are still plus-size women. We talked about this with Rosie Beam. She's still a size 20. Where are you getting thin from? Where are you getting skinny from? And no offense to any of these people, but they're still very much a part of the plus-size community. And so that sort of leaves me feeling like, where is the issue here? Is it really a them issue, or is it a you issue? Is it an insecurity issue? Because it kind of feels like they have to lean into this veiled language to make themselves feel better about what they're doing. It's like they've tricked themselves into believing that these plus-size creators who chose to lose weight somehow no longer understand them, no longer understand the struggle of what it's like to be plus-size on the internet. They're still plus-size on the internet. Like, the mental gymnastics, the cognitive dissonance it takes for them to say, oh, you've lost a little bit of weight. You're no longer plus-size. You're not a part of my community anymore. You no longer understand my struggles, and maybe you never did in the first place, is just... it makes me feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit. As I said, these women are using this veiled language to make themselves feel better about what they're doing. And what they're doing is the one thing they claim to hate. And that is body shaming other plus-size women and policing their bodily autonomy in the name of body positivity and fat liberation. All right, that is all I have for you today. At this point, I'm curious to know what you think. What did you think about Weight Watchers hiring these influencers and running the GLP-1 house? Had you heard of that before this video? What do you think about these plus-size creators tearing down other plus-size creators? I did not have that on my bingo card. And it makes me curious, is this the end of fat acceptance as we know it? Or will the movement continue to thrive? Please leave your comments for me down below because I love to read your opinions, and honestly, my head is just spinning. So I would love to know how you all feel about all of this. And for all my introvert friends out there who do not feel comfortable leaving your opinion in an internet comment section, I see you, I feel you. Go ahead and leave me like a boxing glove emoji. I feel like the girls are fighting boxing or like karate, if you're a Friends fan. I feel like those emojis would be appropriate for this week because they are really, really going at it. And you know, I love to see your emojis just as much as I love to read those opinions, so please leave them for me there. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!